Chapter 51. Malcolm. Everyone tried to recover from the supernatural noises that came from the little man. They rubbed their ears, shook their heads, and worked on steadying their balance. Then, they all stared at Lincoln in amazement. Once Adam and a Sir snapped out of it, they went to attend to Verona, who now had blood dripping from her ears. Adam called, "Lake, Verona needs you." Lake came over and placed her hands on Verona's head. After a couple more minutes, Verona started coming to. Verona rubbed her head and asked in a groggy voice, "What happened?" Adam said, "Lincoln saved you. He saved all of us." Verona seemed to perk up, shaking out some cobwebs, and questioned, "What do you mean, Lincoln saved all of us?" Adam said, "We were all scared for you, but none of us could stop what was happening except for Lincoln. Lincoln opened his mouth and sent every Jinn in the place running." Verona looked over at her little brother, who suddenly didn't seem quite so little anymore, and she became very emotional. She gave Lincoln a confused but proud look. He frowned and gave her a look back, then smiled. The group was basking in their victory, but then Jack brought everyone's attention to the big grandfather clock. It read 11:45. There were only 15 minutes until midnight, and only 15 more minutes until the Merid would be unleashed on the world, and the group didn't have any plan to stop it. Lake sat down while Adam paced around the living room. Verona and Lincoln were still sitting on the floor together, looking blankly at the tall clock. Jack muttered, "Is it too late to get out of here?" Nobody responded. Then a Sir started talking. "I have been on this earth for," he paused for some quick calculations, 695 years. I have seen a lot, and I have lost a lot. I fought alongside many friends who lost their lives in the Great Shadow War against the Jinn. I was forced to leave my home country, the love of my life, and I abandoned my beautiful little girl, Maha. There is a lot I regret." The Sir paused to compose himself, then endeavored on. "But even though it looks as if the world will soon be in ruins, I don't regret today. Meeting all of you and watching you five stick together has been inspiring. You have all proven yourselves worthy to be the new keepers of this world." Verona interrupted a Sir. "What did you say?" A Sir looked at Verona with bewilderment and again said, "The new keepers." She continued, "No. Before that, you said, 'Stick together.'" She looked at the group and asked, "We all stuck together. Who does that sound like?" The others only had to think for a second before they all blurted, "Malcolm." Verona continued, "Malcolm told us to stick together. Malcolm told me to sabotage. That is what I've been doing. I've been sabotaging their minds, forcing them to turn on each other. He told Lincoln to scream. Adam, what did he tell you?" Adam thought for a second, then replied, "Hold him. But what does that mean?" Verona responded, "That's what we need to figure out." Jack said, "Malcolm told me, steal him." "Steal what, I wonder?" Lake added, "He told me to touch the burning man. Do you think that means a Sir? He is, after all, the keeper of the flame, and I did help him return to health when I touched him." Verona excitedly exclaimed, Yes, that must be it. Malcolm wasn't just talking nonsense. He was trying to help us." Verona continued, "We have less than 10 minutes until midnight. Let's figure this out." Jack excitedly shouted, "I just need to steal the lamps from Jinx," but immediately regretted saying it. He couldn't believe he even suggested it. Jack realized that was just about the scariest thing he could have ever imagined. The Sir informed the group that the Merid are imprisoned in the lamps, and if they are released, we will not have the power to capture them again. "We need those lamps," he demanded. Lincoln added, "I will scream to give you a path." Verona said, "I will sabotage them by clouding their minds." Lake asked, "But what will we do once we have the lamps?" Verona turned to Assur. "Can we destroy them?" Assur looked unsure. "I don't know. Can any of you make the weather super cold?" Everyone shook their heads. Assur thought and then suggested, "The flame of life could have probably destroyed them. So maybe, if we can build a hot enough fire, we could do it." This seemed very unlikely, because Jinn came from fire, but that was all they had, and they didn't have time to come up with a better plan. So Verona said, "Then that's it. Lincoln and I will scream and sabotage to create a diversion. Jack will steal the lamps, and the keeper of the flame will build a fire. Lake and Adam, you can help us, sir, as well as be ready to fight if necessary. We have 8 minutes. Let's go."